What do you think so far? How many think you're starting to get a little bit? Anybody getting it? I know guys, it's a big concept. Remember one thing. This is not the launch of a new company. It might even not even be the launch of a rebirthing of our industry. It's the launch of a new vertical business category. Think about that. If you're in the direct selling industry, yeah, view it as a rebirthing of our entire industry, because what was working isn't working as good anymore. The certainty is not there. We're walking into times financially that are different, uncertain even. So now we get to create our own technology, our own economy, and dictate it together. Think of a flying saucer flying over the world, all the land mass, and just pulling up all the products that people want. That's us. That's who we are. We're going to operate a whole level together. We're going to create our own economy together, our own security together, we're going to dictate that together. I've always believed, this is the one thing right here, right? Okay. I've always believed that the what factor is important, and we can talk about that more, or the who factor is everything. You go to certain countries, how many international people we have? Raise your hand. A lot of countries, you sit down, you start talking about the what with them, they're like, oh, wait, stop. Who are you? The who factor is also very important. They determine who first, and then they start doing business. So today I want to talk a little bit about that with you, just because I love what we're about to engage in, guys. I've never seen a groundswell so natural as I've seen in this one. This one is really groundswelling like you would not believe. I think that not everybody fully understands it yet, but the curiosity and just the general message of what we're about to do is crazy. There we go. Here's Ron. I've been in this profession for quite some time. And I've never necessarily been the typical guy in this industry. I've always kind of noticed that this industry has so many beautiful, strong points. How many of you have been blessed by this industry? Raise your hand. Just be honest, man, because there's no apologies for what we do. But there's a little bit of apologies for some of what we do. Some of these companies come along, and my whole way of being is that I don't believe in this whole idea that, well, my products are better than yours. My herbs kill your herbs because they were grown higher on the mountain, our doctor said. Oh, yeah, well, our super fruit juice, remember this? Our super fruit juice has a way higher ORAC than yours. Kicks your ORAC's butt. One of the latest ones is, you know what? My lavender oil kills your lavender oil. Who fights over lavender oil? But in our industry, they found a way to do that. These companies are like boy bands. They come along, they sing their one-hit wonder, and they're gone. Can we not create a home together? Can we not bring us together in something that says, you know, it's a vision that's bigger than all of us, so none of us get in the way? No egos, no entitlement, no do me, but serving is greater than selling? How many like that one? Because when you serve, it works, guys. It works every time. I don't like to sell, I like to present. Energy doesn't lie. It introduces itself before you ever open your mouth. Your way of being is greater than anything you know or anything you say. So today I'm going to get into tell you a little bit about myself, a little bit about my kids for a second, if you don't mind, and then get into some nitty-gritty of how to create in you right now the space to do your very best work ever. My best work is my next work. We don't need any Joe Namaths today. This is what I did back in the 80s or 90s. We got plenty of Joe Namaths in our industry. We need relevance today. And we have some relevant people here that are social influencers that are just top of the world, the cream of the crop that are in our room today. I think we should honor them because this is a marriage of social influencers and what we do in networking. It's unbelievable. So, long story short, I think what we're going to do is generate something that nobody's ever generated in our profession. And I'm going to tell you, oops, I didn't know there was a picture of me up there. Dang, I didn't want that. Oh, there we go. There's my kids. No, that's not all my kids. There's double pictures in here. But there's not a pointer here, but that's my boy to the right. There's two pictures of him. Here's Cannon. That's Gemma. Cannon Dreamer is his middle name. Gemma Soul is in sunshine. In the middle there's Brighton Star. Truman Love, and Marin Gabrielle. And the reason why I did this is because I wanted to tell you a couple stories of Marin. How many of you know Marin? Anybody remember Marin? Some of you do. Marin's a special needs girl. I didn't know she was special needs when she was born. Her mom was very sick and is no longer with us. And so I was given this little girl when she was 11 months old. And I was a single mom, you know, kind of a thing. And here I was going through my career working at these big companies. I was blessed because I got to work with some good companies, got to learn a lot of lessons in my career. And I'd take her to work every single day. And then finally she got to be about 2 years old, started talking a little bit. I didn't know she was special yet. And I'd wake her up in the middle of the night or wake up in the morning, and the first thing she'd do is smile. Just, you know, who smiles right when you wake them up? You know, just wake them up and smile. I'd wake her up. Sometimes I was feeling down, middle of the night. I'd go in there and say, hey, babe, what's going on? Wake her up, and she'd just go, smile, and I just go back to bed. I'm good, right? But then she started waking up in the morning, and I'd walk her over. You know, she'd get up and she'd kind of, her eyes would be squinting, her hair's all messy, and she'd walk over to the blinds and she'd look outside. And she'd look at this, particularly on a cloudy day, she'd look at there, and if she saw a piece of blue sky, she'd go, Dad, look, it's a good day right there. Excuse me, did you just say that? Yeah, it's a good day right there, Dad. It took me a while to figure it out why she's pointing to some random place. And I realized she's just pointing to a little sliver of blue sky. And then we're driving one day and it's Halloween and she's wearing a bumblebee costume. And she's looking out at the searchlights that are going through the sky. And they're all promoting haunted houses. And she's like, wow, those are pretty amazing. She's just staring at it for like 20 minutes. Finally, she goes, Dad? I go, yeah. She goes, God is looking for someone. She saw the lights going down. Hey, where are they? Where do they go? It's an interesting perspective that she has, this girl. And I'm telling these things for a reason. Finally, we were in traffic one day. Here we are in traffic, and I hate traffic. I grew up in Southern California, so I don't love traffic. So here we are in traffic, and I'm a little bit impatient. She's watching for a while, and finally she goes, Dad, I sure love traffic. Really? What do you love so much about traffic? People just become so peaceful. And she was saying, your turn, no, your turn, no, you go, no, just the merging of cars. I was sitting there going, who is this kid? And so I got to raise this kid who mentored me, because I was raised by a single mom. When you're raised single and you're poor, you don't even know you're poor, community becomes your currency, people. And once that lands in you, it is hard to abandon. You have to be drunk to abandon that. So I've always embraced the people concept, and I'll never forget my little girl, senior year in high school, she became quite the little popular kid just because of her special needs. This kid named Lucas asked her to the prom, and I didn't even believe it. She came home with one of those signs that has a payday on it and, you know, the candy bars and all that stuff. And she says, oh, closer, thank you. Okay, so now me and my partners are way closer than we've ever been, because I'm kissing the mic right now. Thank you, by the way. Thanks for telling me that. So Lucas sends home this poster with her to ask her. I didn't believe it. She says, Dad, it's Lucas. Now, I coach football, so Lucas was the quarterback. He's this amazing young man. I mean, just tears in my eyes when I talk about this. And he comes to the door in a limo. He's got a limo parked up. He's got a dozen roses. He says, is Marin here? I says, yeah. I got ready to choke up when he's at the door. So we take some pictures, and he says to me, Mr. Williams, it's right in my face. He goes, what time would you like your daughter home? And I'm like, I said, well, sometime after breakfast, if you don't mind. She's like, Dad. But the point is that when you have the ability to view everything in life as neutral, and you can wrap it the way you choose to wrap it, it's just waiting for your interpretation. See, her ability to interpret is off the charts. Our ability, sometimes we walk in with a half-empty mentality. Don't know if this is going to be any good. I've already seen these kind of things. I'm cynical. No, this is not the time to be that. This is a time to hit cleanse. This is a time to hit reset, renew, reevaluate. This is a rebirthing of our industry, guys. This is nothing like we've ever seen before. Now it's whatever you want, wherever you want it, kind of a thing. It's kind of a dynamic model, dynamic commerce, decentralized. So as you're sitting here today, where's my, oh, here's, you're going to see that I'm kind of, the apple didn't fall too far from the tree. I'm slightly autistic myself. So I'm going to talk to you about 3 steps as a foundation to be the most amazing version of yourself. And these are unusual steps. Some of you may know them. I imagine some of you do. I would imagine most of you may not have ever heard this. But this is how to re-cleanse yourself and set yourself up to win, where your best work truly is your next work. It can't be what you did in the past. It's got to be a new version of you, okay? So, number 1, it's called coherence. How many of you read about or learned a little bit about coherence? Okay, 5 or 6 people, maybe 7. Awesome. I always thought coherence was a sobriety test on the side of the road. Yeah, he's incoherent right now. I didn't understand. No, there's an actual purpose. There's an actual purpose behind the word. Coherence is when you understand that for many, many years, we've been taught that the brain is so amazing. And it is, by the way. The brain is this amazing mass. It'll perform miracles every second, the brain. We've thought, yeah, think these things and think and grow rich and think. And by the way, I get that because the feet will never go where the mind has never been. Okay, very important. So you have to always be thinking thoughts, right? But what if we were wrong that the brain was in charge? Because guess what? The brain conducts a lot of frequency and energy and magnetic frequency. But you know the heart conducts way more than the brain does? Way more. The heart is in charge, guys. Think of the heart as the CEO. Think of the brain as the admin assistant to forecast and project and run the stats and figure all these things out, right? So the brain is taking orders from the heart. And then finally, the board of directors, it's the gut, that gut feeling. So how many of you felt sometimes that brain-heart-gut connection is powerful? How many believe it's powerful, by the way? Did you know that they all have their own separate set of neurons that do their own separate things? The brain, the heart, the gut. So if you're always in your head, I call that communicating in mono. It's a lot of information right now. You're talking to somebody with all the facts and figures, and there's nothing wrong with that. But after a while, when I listen to it, headache. Okay, stop. You're really smart. Too smart for me. Then all of a sudden, let's say you connect it to your heart, where you get all the facts straight, but you basically are felt. You come from your heart. You're felt more than you're heard. So they say, man, I'm not sure what Ryan was saying, but whatever it was, I wanted it. But then all of a sudden, you learn to get the information and come from your heart, and then forecast, project onto people this purpose of belonging, the sense of unity, right? Where now it's like, wow, you're branding people and everybody now fits. You're projecting greatness on every person you meet. From the information correct from your heart, but you're projecting greatness everywhere you go. You belong. You're not filtering people who don't fit your criteria. You're talking to everybody with possibility. It's a big difference. So now you're doing it in surround sound. So it's mono, stereo, and surround sound. How many feel like they do surround sound from time to time or most of the time? Anybody? Brain, heart, gut, brain, heart. How many of you feel like that you're in mono most of the time? A lot of information all the time, information. How many come from the heart? Yeah. How many sometimes vacillate from one to the other to the other? We all do. That's the answer. So the point is, when you learn to connect these 3 things, it's when you get into the zone in life. It's when you're in the zone. It's when you go to a business meeting or a convention or a wedding and you're like, man, I don't know what's going on with me right now. But man, I got it going on right now. I just feel like I got it going on. People want to be around me. And so people will look back at that night for the rest of their life and they'll say, man, I don't remember what was going on in my life. Was I sleeping on cotton pillows or feather pillows? They don't remember. They just felt amazing. What it was is your brain, your heart, and gut aligned in the most profound way. You see, follow your heart, trust your gut, use your brain. In fact, when you follow your heart, you will never lose your mind. How many people do we meet that have all these thoughts all the time? They're anchored to nothing. Am I crazy? Am I crazy? They're second guessing themselves all the time. That's just the opposite of coherence. It's when it's just thoughts. But when you anchor in you 100%, man, that energy is profound. By the way, when you do this, there's all kinds of research and studies on this now. This is not me giving you an opinion. That your happiness goes up, your sleep goes deeper, your peace goes up, your depression goes down, anxiety goes down by massive percentiles, between 30 and 50% down when you get in the state. So practice it. And the way you get there is you're just really aware, listening to your heart, trust your gut, use your brain, okay? Powerful. Step number 2, that's number 1, coherence. We'll get into that someday deeper. Number 2, how many of you love to go to motivational courses and things? Have been to them? Yeah. I like the word motivation, but it's not my favorite word. I think it's an okay word to be motivated, because motivation is kind of an external thing. It comes and it goes. Inspiration, however, is something that remains in you, okay? So inspiration is that unexplainable thing that says, I'm so passionate right now. I feel so inspired. I cannot be stopped. The inspired cannot be stopped. That's the whole thing. So the point is that motivation, I always say, is for the uninspired. When you're inspired, think of the times in your life when you were inspired, when you bought the first car, or when you bought the first house, or you had that first crush. For me, I had a crush on a girl named Linda. I'll never forget, I was 16, 17 years old, 16 years old. I would walk flowers to her house, happy as could be every time, just walking them, so happy. And I remember people going, what is going on with Ron? He has all this energy right now. What's happening? Oh, he's inspired, man. He's got a crush on Linda right now. He can't be stopped. He won't be stopped. How many mothers we have? Mothers, when they step up for their kids, are inspired, right? So I'm going to tell you step number 2, how to become inspired, because when you're inspired, that energy is so contagious. When it's just motivation, no offense, it comes and it goes. It's an external thing, okay? So here you go. So if you look on the left, how is it that we all of a sudden fall into this situation where you ask about self-worth, okay? People talk about self-worth a lot these days, and they talk about it like it's a permanent tattoo. This person has a high self-worth. This person has a low self-worth. I have to come down here. I'm just not good on a stage. I hate stages. Thank you. This is way more comfortable for me. So this person has a low self-worth. This person has a high self-worth. When in fact, self-worth is a moving target. We always talk about they were born this way. No, it's not the case at all. Kids, when you talk to a kid, you'll find out that kids, they're born with self-worth. They're born with all these great qualities. They believe, they love unconditionally, they forgive, they don't see color, they don't see wealth. They're resilient. They have all these things. They just dream. You ask a kid what they want to be when they grow up, they say anything because they can. It's not till they listen to us and they go through life that they start editing their words, right? So the bottom line is, how do we get to that point of inspired? Well, first of all, if you're born inspired and all of a sudden you hit your teenage years and that first crush breaks your heart, the first friendship falls apart, the first job was a misfire, pretty soon you're separated from your dreams and your purpose, right? And all of a sudden the kid's kind of lazy and tired and kind of sad a lot of times. And they'll say, hey, Mom, Dad, tell my friends how happy I was as a kid, how fun I was. What? See, that's a person who's suffering from dream separation. They've now separated from their dreams and they're getting through life and they're deemed as low self-worth. When in fact, when you come back to those things is when it all comes back. So how do you create self-worth and be inspired immediately? Well, these are what I call your dreams in your life. So first of all, you go back to your dreams and your purpose and your truth. It's very simple. If you want to get your self-worth back and be inspired again, because inspiration always wins, people who are inspired. So basically, you go back to your dreams. And when I talk about dreams, I'm not talking about the tooth fairy or the Easter bunny. I'm talking about your actual life, your relationships, your physical health, how you look and feel, your spirituality, your financial health, because money ranks up there with oxygen, we all know. How about community involvement? See, these are things that are dreams. And when you bring those back to your life, you're going to feel like amazing, absolutely amazing. And that's how you feel inspired. So what you do is you go back, and we'll get into this someday, is you just reconnect with your dreams and your purpose. If you want to bring back that self-worth, you just do it this way. You bring back your dreams, you write them down, you write down an action plan, you get after it, and you go. So there was some different slides here, but I apologize. It seems to be a little bit off what I sent. But this is how you do it. So what happens is you bring it back and you get back into your inspiration, your truth, your purpose, your vision, right? And when that happens, energy doesn't lie. These are the people that people want to marry and make babies with and go into business with, and the party doesn't start till they arrive, right? Some people walk in a room like this and they'll go, is this going to be any good? And they'll sit near the door. And then there's others who walk in and go, it's good now. They just know what they bring to the table. They know, they account for their energy. So when you're going about your business and you're going to be this entrepreneur, these are little tips that go above and beyond motivation. These are little tips that go above and beyond the typical stuff you often hear, because you become the source of your energy. You become the source of your self-worth. You become the source of your business through these kinds of steps. And then finally, the raw materials, what you do for life, your exercise, your health, what you take for supplementation, how you eat raw foods, how you think, all those sorts of things. Those are important parts. So as we move forward in this company, just know one thing. There's going to be a tone that Shopley brings to the marketplace. There'll be a tone of goodness, happiness, real, authentic, abundant, financial, transactional, and uniting the world in such a way that we've never seen in our world, in our businesses, guys. We're going to bring communities together and people together. We're going to focus on the things that unite humanity and not divide humanity, because we have far more in common than we do apart, right? So we're going to bring a commerce together like we have never seen in our careers. So I love the idea of what we're doing. I love the idea of what Shopley brings to the marketplace. I love this concept, and it's still in its infancy, as you can tell. But we're working our tails off to bring this to manifest it to you. And the fact that you're here today, just remember, it doesn't entitle you to anything, because some people are going to walk out of here and go, I think I got it, maybe not think about it for a while, but some people are going to go out of here and just going to fly to the moon on this right away. They're going to get after it and go. So know that in social media, in addition to the financial training, the product training, the transactional training, the AI training that we're bringing to you guys, we're also going to bring a lot of culture. Good culture is to recruiting what a great product is to marketing. Think about it. When you have a great product, we all look smarter, right? We all, oh yeah, I'm doing good, really good right now. Good culture shows up in the same way when you're recruiting, when you're talking to people. So we're going to have a great culture. We're going to focus a lot also on the culture. It'll just be balanced. It'll be a holistic sort of company. But as you do that, you're going to see that we're going to drip on people in the most amazing way in social media. I'm going to show you one of 104 videos that we're going to do, 2 a week for social media, just to create curiosity in the marketplace, to show them kind of who we are, show them our DNA as a group of people.
Unique, a generational idea, category-creating business solution for the career-minded entrepreneur. Now, a reality. Abundant. Create a full-time income in your spare time. Live your dreams all the time. Intuitive. Don't drown following outdated, oversaturated business verticals. For as of today, they are limiting. Get out from behind the problem and start winning in front of the solution. Shop. Set up shop now. The world is coming. We are Shopley. A shopper's dream come true.
Rod, where's Rod? I apologize for that logo. I forgot to take that logo. That's the old, just working logo, guys. But anyhow, so you'll see that we're going to be for real out there, guys. We're going to hit you by land, by sea, by air, every angle possible. So when you see this company, you're going to go, Shopley's got, they're alive and kicking is what they're doing every single day in this company. So look, forget everything you've known about business and transactions to date, because pretty soon it will be obsolete. What we're going to do is going to lead everybody into a freedom that we've never seen in our industry, where there's no longer balls and chains around our ankles. You can't do that. You can't do that. Now it's whatever you want, with whomever you want, the way you want it, when you want it, where you want it. It's that powerful. There's no more balls and chains around your neck. It's going to be really interesting when you see this thing roll out. So this is the most liberating space in our profession by far. And it's brand new. It's just happening. So what I would encourage each of you to do is to set your life up, set yourself up first. Because, it's one thing to say ready, set, go, which we're going to do. But make sure that you're set and you're ready to go as a human being, that you're representing this brand, because you're at the very beginning and our brand is very important to us. So I look forward to working with each and every one of you. I appreciate my partners, Nick and Rod and Terry. Terry's, I can go on and on about Terry. I've known Terry for a long, long time. Terry's an unusual character. How often do you meet a guy doing 1 point something billion a year, self-made, on the front line always? He's on the front line always, guys. Every time you talk to him, it's like it's the first day. That's how he is. So there's something about leadership and the word fresh that resonate. So remember, be fresh. Your best work is your next. Thank you guys so much.